everybody, welcome to the show. It is what is it? Well, that's no good. It's October 16th. I'm not sure if I got if this is looking clean or not. Let me just check here. Let's see. Nope. I can't tell. So let me know if I'm jittery or not. I don't know. Something's not right. I don't like this. I don't like how this looks. Oh my goodness. View your channel. Let's see. So I'll see if I'm I seem to be real glitchy. Real glitchy. I don't like that. That's no good. What is happening? Hey, everybody. What's up, Joe? Nice to see you. I don't even look in focus. Oh, geez, this is not good. All right. Jittery like a kitten on coffee. Well, let's see if I can get it fixed. Well, that's looking a little better. Let's see. So it looks better on my end. Let's see if this fixed it on your end. What's up, John? Sound is good. Nice. Coffee's good. Okay. It's looking better. It's looking better. So yeah, let's roll with it, shall we? This is a good one. This is a good one. And I know you're probably all sick of Tom, you've been doing all these cognitive biases. You seem obsessed with it. I probably have been. And don't worry, I'm not going to do this every day. I just got one more. I just got one more today that we're going to talk about. Just as a reminder, as we're all pulling in here, we're on the road to 420. That's right, 420 subscribers or followers on Rumble, rumble.com/coffeenuance/live. Please follow me there. See if we can grow the channel and get to the road to 420. I think we can make it. But anyway, today I've got a fun one to talk about. It is called Delusive Certainty. And let's get to it. Yeah. Get my graphic there. There we go. Settle in, folks, because today I want to talk about something we all suffer from, whether we like to admit it or not, and that's delusive certainty. Yeah. Now, it's a fancy way of saying, I'm not just wrong, I'm proudly wrong. You ever meet someone who's so sure of their opinion, so absolutely certain that you start to question your sanity? You're like, am I the crazy one here? It's because that person at the barbecue who swears that gluten is the reason for climate change. Yeah, he's done his own research. You can't argue with that level of confidence. Or maybe you shouldn't even try. It's everywhere. Social media, the news, Thanksgiving. God help us. People are out here making big decisions based on very little information, but they think they're killing it. Delusive certainty is the mental sweet spot where you know just enough to be dangerous, but not enough to actually be right. It's like giving a 9-year-old keys to your car. Sure, they know how to hold the steering wheel and go vroom, 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 but I don't think you'd want them driving you anywhere. I read this study. No, not on Facebook, a real study. Okay. I read an article about a study where they gave people only half the information on a topic and asked them how confident they were about their opinions. And you know what happened? People were like, oh yeah, I got this. They were walking around with the intellectual equivalent of 2 puzzle pieces and saying, yep, I have solved it. Here's where it gets interesting. They did this with about 1,300 people, gave some folks just one side of the story and gave others the whole picture. The people who just got one side, super confident. Those who got all the information, less confident. That's what we're dealing with. When you know less, you're somehow more certain. That's right. The dumber you are, the louder you are about it. Welcome to America, everybody. And it's not just random people on the street. No, it's all of us. It's in our DNA. You ever been halfway through a Wikipedia article and suddenly you're an expert? You're like, oh, yeah, I read about the French Revolution for 10 minutes. I could totally run a government. Yeah, sure. You and Marie Antoinette. We all do this. But it's become supercharged in the age of social media, where we're scrolling through headlines and retweets, facts, faster than we're actually thinking. And let's be honest, X and TikTok are where nuance goes to die. We've traded curiosity for certainty and critical thinking for that dopamine hit of being right, or at least feeling right. It's like a drug, but instead of being high on life, we're high on half-baked opinions. And here's the kicker. When people who were super confident in their half-assed opinions were given the other side of the story, when they actually saw the full picture, a bunch of them changed their minds. Crazy, right? That never happens in politics. But here's the point. Humans can change their minds. We all evolve our opinions as long as we're given all the facts. Now, the study found one exception, and spoiler alert, I already said what it was. Want to guess? Politics. Yeah, because people would rather perform colonoscopy on themselves than admit they were wrong about a politician. Why? Because our political opinions are so deeply tied to our identity. Telling someone they're wrong about their favorite politician is like saying, hey, maybe your mom did love your brother more. It's personal. There's no coming back from that. But in everything else, we're like, oh, wait, I didn't think of that. My bad. As long as it seems plausible, people will change their minds, which means there's still hope for humanity, as long as the topic isn't red or blue. Here's the lesson, folks. Delusive certainty is dangerous. The minute you feel too sure about something, check yourself. Ask, do I really know what I'm talking about? Or I'm just playing an expert in a really bad TV episode. Look, we live in the information age, which means there's more out there than ever before. But also, there's more BS than ever before. And sifting through it, that's our real job now. Just remember, being confident doesn't mean you're right. You might just be wrong, but louder. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the bestest, most incredible censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Oh, someone says I went overboard on the Just for Men. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, I combed my hair differently today. I don't have any coloring in anything here. The only coloring I have is right here on my chin. That's it. Which you can see sometimes. Sometimes it comes in white here. But all this, that's my regular color. Regular color, regular color. Right here, regular color. So, yeah. We're all high on our own half-baked opinions. Brilliant take, dummy. Huh. Sounds like somebody in the comments is a bit of a dick. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's a good character. I'm glad you're here. And you can participate. So today we're talking about delusive certainty. And it's a cognitive bias that we have with individuals when they believe they have sufficient information to form a confident opinion, even when their understanding is incomplete or incorrect. And this is pretty much everyone. The overconfidence is based on having the illusion of having all the necessary facts, but we don't know what we don't know, right? Get that fixed there. There we go. Leading to premature judgments and resistance to further information. Delusive certainty is often reinforced by echo chambers, which you're in right now. Welcome to the echo chamber. Selective exposure and the fact that none of you are really curious about anything, making it difficult for individuals or people to recognize their own limitations to their knowledge. So that's what I have dubbed delusive certainty. And definitely I do this. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I found myself doing that for sure. So as I have in the past, I dropped this. I dropped my monologue, and I dropped this little thing I wrote about this article that I read. And again, it wasn't even a real study. This was an article that NBC put out about a study. And I dropped this into Google LM, and I had it made a podcast about this topic. I'm pretty impressed on how this sums up the thing, and I think you'll understand this a little bit better with this podcast. So let's check this out again. The audio that's playing was created with AI. This is a little podcast about the idea of delusive certainty, which I coined last night.
I get that feeling. Like these days, it's crazy easy to feel like you're an expert on, well, almost anything. I mean, we're just swimming in information.
Right.
A quick Google search and boom, you've got an opinion.
Right.
But here's the thing that gets me. How often are we like confidently wrong? That's what we're digging into today.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff.
This whole idea of delusive certainty.
Yeah.
How we can be so sure of things, even when we're totally off base.
And the book we're diving into today, Delusive Certainty, gets right to it.
Okay.
It's not just the, I don't know, not so smart people who fall for this, right?
Why? Oh, tell me about it.
It can happen to anyone.
Yeah, it's like this sneaky brain trap we can all fall into.
Exactly.
So for anyone who hasn't cracked open this book yet, what exactly is delusive certainty?
Basically, it's that gap between what we think we know
Uh-huh.
and what we actually understand. You can feel super confident in your opinion, but that doesn't mean it's built on, solid ground.
Oh, like that saying, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Yes. The book makes this comparison.
Yeah.
It's like building a house on sand.
Okay.
Looks good from a distance, maybe even impressive.
Right.
But dig a little deeper, and the whole thing is, well, unstable.
Okay, yeah, I can picture that.
Yeah.
And there's this weird thing the book talks about how we're often more certain about things we know less about. How's that work?
It's all about how our brains love efficiency. We crave certainty, makes us feel safe.
Makes sense.
So when we've only got a little info, it's easier to form a nice, neat opinion without all the messy details.
So less thinking, more certainty, please and thank you.
Pretty much. And here's where it gets interesting. The book mentions this study
Go on.
from the very official sounding journal PLOS1.
Okay, hitting us with the science.
Right. They looked at how people formed opinions when they only had like half the story.
Okay, so what did they find?
People who only heard one side of an argument, way more confident in their opinions than those who'd heard multiple sides.
Well, yeah, when you put it like that.
Right. If that's all you hear, you think this must be the whole truth.
For sure.
But here's the kicker. Even when they were shown evidence that contradicted what they initially heard,
Oh, no.
those one-sided folks, they were more likely to dig in and stick to their guns, even if they were wrong.
Wow. So our initial certainty can be pretty powerful, huh? Like resistant to change, even when we get new info.
Exactly.
So it's almost like our brains are trying to protect us from being wrong, even when we are.
Yeah, in a way, but that protection can really backfire, especially when it comes to like the real world.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Think about it. Like, when's the last time you got into a heated debate about something you knew a ton about?
Never. It's always those things you only kind of sort of understand.
Exactly. The book actually gives some, I thought, pretty good real world examples of this delusive certainty thing in action.
Bring it on me.
Okay. Climate change, big one, right?
Right.
People have super strong opinions on it.
Yeah.
But how much of that is based on like deep understanding versus just headlines and social media?
So true. It's like everyone's picked their side, and
Yeah.
that's that.
And they're all totally convinced they're right, which makes having an actual conversation like impossible.
It's like everyone's an expert with their little bits of info.
Exactly. And this isn't just climate change, right? We see it with vaccines, economic policies.
It's like 1 minute on WebMD and boom, you're a doctor.
Right. You hear a soundbite, read a headline, and suddenly you're ready to go on a debate show.
I plead guilty to that for sure.
And it all goes back to that confirmation bias thing,
Right.
Our brains are like little detectives searching for evidence that supports what they already believe.
And we're excellent at ignoring anything that doesn't fit.
Right. The best. And that just feeds into the whole delusive certainty loop. We feel even more certain because we're ignoring anything that says otherwise.
It's like we're building these mental walls to protect our opinions from, like the truth.
And then there's social media talk about adding fuel to the fire.
Oh, man, don't even get me started. It's like the Wild West of opinions out there.
Seriously. Those platforms are literally designed to keep you scrolling, to keep you engaged.
And the best way to do that, show you more of what you already like and agree with.
Bingo. Whether it's true or not.
It's like they're echoing back all our existing biases, right?
Exactly. You get stuck in those echo chambers where everyone sounds just like you.
And it feels good,
Yeah.
right? To feel like everyone agrees with you.
Oh, yeah, it's like this false sense of validation.
Dangerous though, right? Because if we're only hearing from people who agree with us,
We never have to question those beliefs,
Mhm.
and we definitely don't have to, like, defend them,
it's like we're living in a bubble.
which means when that bubble bursts, it's gonna be messy.
Okay, so if social media is part of the problem, what's the solution? How do we escape this delusive certainty trap?
You know, the book had a surprisingly simple answer.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Curiosity
Okay.
and humility.
Interesting.
Like, it's not about not having opinions, right? It's about being open to the possibility that you might be wrong, or at least that you don't have the whole picture.
Which is hard. Our brains are wired for those easy answers, the shortcuts.
Totally. But the book talks about this other sneaky thing, the illusion of explanatory depth.
Okay, that sounds intense. What is that?
It's basically thinking you understand something way more than you actually do.
Okay, yeah, I think we've all been there.
Like, we can have these strong opinions, but when someone asks us to really explain it, we're like,
Yeah, well, it's complicated.
exactly. We realize we've just been skimming the surface.
It's like that feeling when someone asks you how Wi-Fi works, and you're like, uh-huh, magically.
Right. And the book argues that recognizing this illusion is actually a really useful tool to fight delusive certainty.
I can see that.
Like, before you get all fired up about something, ask yourself, could I explain this to someone who completely disagrees with me?
And if the answer is no, maybe it's time to hit the books a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about being open to learning, admitting that you don't know everything.
Which, let's be real, is kind of freeing, right?
Totally. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about being right or wrong. It's about how we operate in the world.
Okay, so it's not just about winning arguments on the internet.
No, this stuff has real consequences.
And I'm guessing that's where the book goes next, like what happens when delusive certainty takes over?
Yep.
Yeah, like what are the real world stakes of all this?
Well, the book really gets into it, like with politics.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
Right. And it makes sense. We see it all the time now.
For sure.
People dig in their heels. So sure, they're right.
And the other side is like the enemy.
Totally. And that's what the book is warning about.
Okay.
When we get locked into our political views, no room for anything else.
Yeah, no compromise, no middle ground.
Exactly. It's all echo chambers, no real conversations happening.
And it's not just politics, is it?
Oh, no, not even close.
The book talked about science too, right?
Definitely. Science is all about being like a little uncertain.
Really? I would have thought it was the opposite.
You'd think, right. But really, science needs that skepticism.
Okay.
Questioning everything, being open to new discoveries.
Otherwise, you just get stuck.
Totally. Like, imagine if scientists were like, nope, we figured it all out, case closed.
That'd be bad.
The worst.
Yeah.
No more vaccines, no new technology.
Yikes.
Exactly. We got to stay open to new info, even if it means admitting we were wrong.
Which, let's be honest, is really hard sometimes.
The hardest. Our egos don't like being wrong.
So then, how do we actually get better at this? Like, how do we fight this delusive certainty thing in our own lives?
Well, for starters, we got to know it's a thing.
Okay.
Like, just being aware that we all have biases, that's huge.
Okay, so step one, self-awareness.
Exactly. And then from there, it's all about asking the tough questions.
Like what? Give us the hard truth.
Well, think about it. Are you really open to different viewpoints? Or are you just surrounding yourself with people who agree with you?
Ouch, that hits close to home.
Right. It's like holding up a mirror to how we think, which isn't always pretty.
No, it's not comfortable, but it's probably important, right?
It is. Because this isn't just some abstract idea.
Okay.
This stuff affects how we treat other people, how we make decisions.
Yeah, it's bigger than just us.
Exactly. So on that note, we got to wrap up, right?
Sadly, yes. But this has been fascinating.
Totally. And the book ends with this really great question,
Ooh, I love a good parting thought.
right? It asks, what can you be curious about today?
I like that. It's simple but powerful.
Right. Because it's a reminder that we're all works in progress,
And there's always more to learn.
always. And sometimes the most important thing is being brave enough to say, I don't know.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Hopefully, it's given everyone a lot to think about.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
All right, there we go. So that was what AI came up with to talk about this idea, um, delusive certainty. May be unfamiliar with the word, but delusive means producing delusions, right? Or delusional, forming a delusion or just inappropriate to reality. And that's the word. I know that it's probably not used much. I think it's a fun word. That could be the word of the week, delusive. Anyway, that's the idea that I wanted to talk about today on this Big Idea Wednesday, that when we know just a little bit about something, we're more certain than if we know more. And that's important to keep in mind when you're listening to other people, right? The people that are the most confident might be the people that know the least. So now that you know this concept a little bit more, that might be helpful in just how you take in media, how you take in facts and stories that you see online. The more confident someone is, they might know less. Now they might actually know more as well, but that's for you to decide. And that's the America we're in. Anyway, stick around for the after show. I'll go through all dozen comments or whatever for the couple of people that are still here. Hope you have a beautiful day. I will be back on Friday. Until then, peace. Okay, thanks for sticking around. We got a couple of comments here. It was odd at the beginning that we were having issues with the Rumble Studio, and it kind of crapped out. But I did a reset, and it got back there. Hashtag small creators. Hashtag road to 420. What's up, John? Wasted again, says fix your collar, you red-eyed, scruffy-looking alcoholic. Thanks for letting me know about my collar. I shouldn't come on with my collar messed up, but and I know that if you label yourself wasted again, I guess that's part of the character, is to kind of be a dick. Yes, you went overboard on the just for men. I would be curious who you're into then. Wasted again, are you? But anyway, blah blah blah. We're high on half-baked opinions. Brilliant take, dummy. I'm not a big fan of the direct insult. I understand that might be part of your online character, but I'm not a fan of that. So going forward, I'd appreciate you not doing that. Delusive is not a word. Actually, it is a word. I don't think it's a very well-known word, but it is definitely a word. In fact, 3 weeks ago, Merriam-Webster updated their entry on delusive. And the examples they use are delusive beliefs and delusive promises. So examples of delusive in a sentence: delusive promises of high-paying jobs for low-skilled workers. Okay. So there we go. But it's been used. Wall Street Journal, New Yorker, New York Review of Books have all used the word recently in recent articles. So you can check that out. Muggsy says, I love ego chambers. Waffles are my comfort zone. I get that. I haven't had. I've been on this non-processed food thing where I've been getting rid of all processed foods from my life. So I kind of miss the cardboard box food in the freezer. But Muggsy says, like consensus fabrication, mass psychosis formation, those all play together. Definitely, people suffering from mass formation psychosis probably are not super informed on what they're talking about. Missed the show live. Just wanted to say, America. What's up, Rev 68? Nice seeing you today, buddy. Anyway, that's all I have for everyone today. I don't know. It doesn't look like it was a real exciting topic based on the views that we got, but perhaps it was kind of messed up at the beginning of the stream. Who knows? Anyway, who knows? I'll try to come up with something different for Friday. Hope you all have a beautiful hump day. Until then, peace.